Good evening. Today we have something different in Villa Park. What's going on in Villa Park? I'm going to first. My name is Dennis Keating. Alice Hatch is my partner.
Hi, everybody.
Here. And Father Mark is here from. Where are you from, Father?
St. Alexander.
And what are you doing here tonight? What are you going to tell us about?
Well, I've come here to talk to you a little bit about an event that we have coming up on August 22nd.
Okay.
Saturday. We're doing something a little bit out of the box, a little bit not normal for what we would normally do for events. We are actually having professional wrestling at St. Alexander in Villa Park.
You mean during Mass? I mean, how
Well,
does that work?
It won't happen exactly at Mass, but
Okay.
it will happen after Mass. That evening at 6 o'clock, the doors will open for people to come in and buy tickets, and the Knights of Columbus are going to be there to sell some food as well. And then at 7:30, the actual event begins, and we have coming to St. Alexander a former WWE wrestler.
Wow, that's big time.
That's as big as you can get.
Sure,
and
sure.
So we have Mantor coming to us,
Okay.
and he was a wrestler with the WWE, then known as the WWF, in 1995.
Great.
And Mike Halick is his real name, and he has some family in our parish, and so that's how I got connected with him. And
Great.
he's just a wonderful, upstanding Catholic man, and he pitched this idea to me and kept coming back to me, and sure enough, here we are.
Well, I'm so glad you're doing this because recently wrestling has made a comeback here in Villa Park. And as you know, at Summerfest the last 2 years, we've had main events right at the hub of the whole Summerfest, right at Ardmore and Park, and everybody loved it. I mean, it was awesome.
Oh, I know. In fact, when one of those matches was going on, it would have been at the 100th anniversary.
Yes.
I was in celebrating Mass while Tommy Dreamer was out there wrestling, and I'm thinking to myself, God, I really love my faith. I know I do. I'm in here saying Mass, and Tommy Dreamer is about a football field away from me wrestling. But
you were torn.
I was very torn, but
Who
you
won?
know,
Mass won.
Mass one.
Mass wins. Mass went over. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, now tell me before you get too far involved again.
Yeah.
What day is it? What day of the week it's going to be?
This is going to be on Saturday, August the 22nd, and doors open at 6 in our gymnasium, and then we will have the actual event. The wrestling itself begins at 7:30. Goes to about 9:30. So about 2 hours of wrestling.
How do the people buy tickets?
Well, you certainly could come to our Mass this weekend. We're going to sell some more tickets after Mass. We have already sold 171 tickets
Excellent.
right after our Masses this past weekend. So we've already sold more than half of our tickets.
Excellent. Well, we better hurry up, Dennis, and get our
That's
tickets.
right.
Yeah.
Well, how do I buy tickets to give them to somebody else? How do
Like
I buy
a gift.
tickets?
Gift
The
to-
gifts.
Oh, you can come to the Mass, you buy the tickets and give them to somebody else. We're going to reserve some tickets for the door as well,
Okay.
because we realize the posters are out there, the word is out. I want to make sure that there's at least some opportunity from people from the outside who are coming in to us. We really want this not only to be an event for our parish, but to be really something for the community as well.
And you want to have standing room only.
We
Around
want
the-
to
300
we want to
seats.
sell out. We
Yeah.
want to sell out. So
Because I know you can put more than 300 people in that parish hall.
we can certainly get a few more in. We can
Okay.
certainly get a few more in.
Okay,
So
good, good.
But like I say, this is something that we really want to do as sort of a reach out. The tickets are not expensive at all.
How much are they?
Adults are $10. Kids are $5.
That's crazy. That's a lot of entertainment. It goes from 7:30 till
7:30 till 9:30.
2 hours
And
of entertainment.
Two
for
hours of
$10 and $5.
entertainment. You know,
And the food goes on sale what time?
food goes on sale from the Knights of Columbus at 6 o'clock.
And how much that going to be? Sandwiches or what?
You know, I'm not certain how much they're actually selling those for.
Okay.
Dennis, they're going to have hot dogs and pork sandwiches. I don't think they're going to cost that much.
Okay.
Well,
Do
tell
I
us-
have to be a Catholic to go?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Anyone can come.
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
so everybody, okay?
Tell us a little bit about setting up that venue. You're going to be in the Parish Hall, which is between the former school and the rectory, right?
Yes.
And that's a large building. It's got plenty of parking there. I mean, you got lots of parking.
we have a lot of parking. We do
Okay.
have a lot of parking.
And you're not competing with Mass, so there's going to be parking spaces.
No, this is going to be after Mass gets out, and when 7:30 hits, I fully expect we'll have more than enough parking, and there's a lot of street parking in the area as well. So
Normally, you don't have wrestling matches in the Parish Hall. Officially.
normally, yeah,
Well-
this is not a normal parish function.
But it's a great idea. What does it entail to set something like that up? I mean, where did you get the idea to help? I mean, who's helping you set it up?
Well, I have a team of volunteers at the parish who are doing just a crazy amount of work to get this together. And one of the ways that we're funding this is through sponsorships.
Okay.
And so we have a lot of wonderful businesses in the area that have been sponsors for us and have just graciously helped us with this. And some of those sponsorships are in the form of monetary sponsorships. Other sponsors are helping us with equipment and
Right.
resources that are helping to put it on.
You mentioned before, like the lighting and the protection around the ring, things like that, are coming from a local business.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Odium is providing us with like chairs and guardrails and a sound system and some lighting, and I have a whole list of. I have a scrap of paper.
You
Here.
have
If you don't mind,
No.
I can do it really quickly.
Can you mention all the sponsors that you got so far?
They deserve
You know,
it.
they-
All right. I'll try to do this.
Well, he's got a whole big notepad here, folks.
All right, so Crazy Pour. I just want to say that after the wrestling event, there's going to be
An after party.
an after party
Nice.
over at Crazy Pour
Yes.
on North Avenue. We have the Odium helping us out with equipment. We have as sponsors, we have Ace Hardware. We have the Villa Park Chamber of Commerce.
Excellent.
We have Schmidt Employee Benefits. We have Sterling Funeral Home. We have Plants Construction. We have Dynamic Tree Service, Mexicali, Mexican Grill. We have Alliance Printing. They did all the printing of our posters and the tickets and everything. Superloop is a sponsor. We have the Villa Park Office Equipment Inc. We have the Knights of Columbus. We have Mama Squash. We have
Very
GH
good,
Classic
very good.
Cars,
Yeah.
Dominic's, the local 710 Pioneers Club, and Kathy Morano, dog trainer.
Excellent. All of you people mentioned, thank you very much for doing this. That's excellent list of people. I know most of them.
Most of them have been on the shows.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. We've had
Yeah,
Dominic's and
we
others.
had
and
Dominic's and-
Podium and stuff.
Yeah.
Tell us about the headliners. I mean, you are obviously a fan of Mantor.
I am a big fan of Mantor.
What does that mean now? Tell me about that.
All right, Mantor, little wrestling history here. 1995 is when Mantor debuted in the WWE. Vince McMahon oftentimes comes up with a lot of these personas. And so Mike Halick was given the persona of Mantor, and so he would wear this big bull's head on his head, and he'd come down to the ring with this bull's head on. And he's had a number of other personas as well. He'll actually be wrestling with us as the Turkish Terror Mad Mustafa.
Okay.
So he'll be.
It's a long name.
It's a long name, but he's going to be with us, and he's just a wonderful, kind-hearted man who's does a lot for charity.
Now, you just said something. You said he's going to be wrestling with you. Are you going to wrestle too?
Well, there is a little. There is a rumor going
There's a
around.
big rumor going around. You're
There's-
going to get in the ring too.
There's,
yes.
there's a rumor going around that a certain pastor in Villa Park may be involved in one of the wrestling
Oh.
matches.
Oh,
That's a good
That's a
promotion there.
good-
I'd like to see that.
I think that sold a lot of tickets right there
Right
at St.
there.
Alexander.
Well, yeah, it did.
oh yeah.
But also, the whole premise of professional wrestling is good versus evil.
Yeah.
So this is perfect.
Now you're going to ask what side he's going to
Well,
get.
no, I'm not going to insult him. I know he's on the good side. They probably wear the collar as well. But I could just see you, presiding over evil in the ring. That would be an awesome event. You might be the headliner at that.
Well, it's definitely the men and women who are going to be coming out and wrestling.
Yeah.
They are, they put their bodies on the line for people's entertainment, and I have a lot of respect for what they do. I've been a big fan of it myself since I was just a little guy.
Yeah.
And, still remember my dad taking me to events and watching it on TV, and my friends, we'd get together and talk about it and, share rumors and, all the sorts of things that wrestling fans do. And
Absolutely. In fact, you talk about history. My history in wrestling, I all the WWF and cage matches and all those things. I love that. My kids love that. And they had a couple of them at the Odeum, and recently they had another event at the Odeum, and that was very successful. But my history goes back to 1950s, late 50s. And I'm not old enough to say exactly what happened, but a relative of mine was a professional wrestler. And at that time, it wasn't all these, great costumes and, bull's heads and stuff like that. It was basically briefs.
Sure.
And that's it. And shoes.
I remember those matches, and I can tell you who the announcer was at those times, too. Jack Brickhouse.
There you go. Jack Brickhouse.
He was the announcer.
Went on to be the Chicago Cubs
Cub announcer.
Hall of Fame announcer. Yeah. But my uncle was Maurice Robert, and he was one of the schlums that would always get beat. It just worked out that way. Everything's legit, but just worked out that way. And he wrestled in the ring, and also his wife wrestled as a female wrestler at that time, which was amazing. And it ebbs and tides, and there was a time when wrestling was not as popular, and now it's really grown up again. And you should have great success at this event. I really think you will.
Like I said, with the excitement, just from my parishioners alone, and Villa Park, it's a wrestling town. I know that the folks around here love to go to a local group called Galaluce. We got a couple of their guys coming in for one of our matches.
Okay.
And we've got the headliners, Mantor and Brian Blade. Brian Blade is the owner of the MWA.
Okay.
And
that's who's putting on this event.
And that's who's. But it's also it's sort of in connection with the AHW, which is Mike Halig's company, which he's starting up.
Okay.
So this is sort of, in a way, it's his first. It's his first event as AHW. So that's an exciting thing.
So this could be historic.
It is.
It is.
It already is.
Already is. Yeah. So how many matches are going to be at the event?
Right now we have it set for 6 matches.
Okay.
And that can always change, of course. But right now we have 6 matches set for the card, and they're all going to be very exciting. And for anyone who is really desires to come and see this, maybe you've never been to wrestling before. It really is. It's an exciting thing. I think wrestling got a sort of a different reputation 10, 15 years ago. If you remember the Monday Night Wars between WWF and WCW, and these two were going at it, and they kept elevating sort of the sensationalism of what wrestling was all about. And things have kind of, I think, mellowed out a bit with wrestling.
Right.
Some wrestling fans will tell you that's a bad thing. A lot of wrestling fans also will tell you it's a good thing.
Well, a lot of the wrestling is a storyline, too.
Yeah.
Each match is a storyline, whether it's a previous match that set up this confrontation.
Exactly.
Or some new event that takes place. But it's always a story. Like you go to the opera and you say, the opera's about music. Yeah, it is, but it's about the story also. And wrestling is about the story. So these characters that are involved in these events is what makes it, for me.
Absolutely.
What's going on? Why is this guy having a problem with this guy or the or lady or vice versa? So it's always nonstop excitement.
Yeah.
I mean, every event, the ebbs and tides of the match, almost pinned. Not quite.
The wrestling itself is certainly exciting, but I've always been a big fan of just the exchange of drama that happens between the characters and the personalities involved in it, and a lot of that came out of again the TV era. As soon as wrestling became more of a TV kind of product, it really kind of ramped up what it's all about. It became something transformed.
Now, I think I asked you before, how'd you start at this in Villa Park? How'd you start doing
How did I get it started?
Yeah, how'd you get it started?
Well, I was very fortunate that I came to know Mike through his aunt and uncle, and we all had a dinner together one evening, and Mike and I just we hit it off with really good friendship, and that night he was even telling me, Father, I'd really like to maybe come and do some kind of an event for you. And at first, I was thinking to myself, wow, that's really cool of Mike to even offer this. It's probably not going to go anywhere. A month later, I'm on the phone with him. Yeah. Father, I really want to do this event for you.
He was serious.
Well, he wanted you in the ring with him.
And so I just he kept calling me, and it says, finally, it's like, wow, he really, really wants to do this. I'm going to make this happen.
Yeah. This is going to be awesome. Now, you said the seats are going to be around the ring.
Yes.
And one of the draws for any wrestling match is how close you can get. Are there ringside seats that are separate from their normal seats? No, right? I mean, anybody could be ringside.
The reality is with our gymnasium,
everything's ringside.
Everything is good. Yeah. Every seat you get there is going to be a good seat. I mean, if you've ever been to like a big wrestling event,
there is no balcony.
You know that you're not going to need binoculars. You're not going to, be worrying whether you're going to have like obstructed view or something like that. Yeah. All the seats are good, and there's a little bit of buffer between the front row, obviously, and the ring itself. Mm-hmm. But even if you're in the back row, you have a better seat than most people have for any of the WWE events that ever happen.
Right. That's great. Well, you've got a lot of sponsors. You listed who they are, and the tickets will be great. The food will be great. You're gonna make a profit here. You're gonna get some money out of this.
Yes, yeah.
What are you gonna do with that? Where's that gonna go?
Well, obviously we're keeping the cost low because we want it to be a community event. Right. So we didn't want to, create something that was terribly expensive.
Right. And it's not. It's great. $10,
$10 and $5 for kids. So just about anybody could come to this. Mm-hmm. We will make some money on it because obviously we had such a great outpouring of sponsors that they've pretty much covered all of our overhead, and so anything that comes in is profit.
Okay, so you're in the black already.
The church is gonna make a little bit of money to help in our ministries, but one thing that we're going to be doing too is we're going to do like a split the pot type fundraiser during the event itself. Okay, and our committee is going to be going to the table at our next meeting to discuss what do we want to do with the split the pot money. What charity do we want to push that forward to? Right. This is not about making a whole lot of money for St. Alexander. Again, it's a community thing, and so I'm more than happy and very pleased to sponsor a local charity. So we'll be making a decision pretty shortly on that. Good. And I'm excited about that.
Just so the money, we want to keep the money in Villa Park or in the area anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely. Or that affects people in the
something that helps the poor. Something that helps the poor.
Excellent. Excellent. And Knights of Columbus is going to be doing the food, right?
Knights of Columbus are doing the food. They have been the backbone really of getting a lot of this together. Have a lot of wonderful people on the committee as well that have. I could never have done this myself, and so I'm very happy that we have so many wonderful people.
And they're good at doing these type of food events. They do the pancake breakfast.
Exactly. The Knights of Columbus, I mean, just aside from what they're doing for this, they do some awesome pancake breakfasts. If you haven't had a chance to come to one, come to one. It is really good food.
It is. They do a great job. Whether it's the regular ones or the chocolate chip. I like the chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip ones, yeah.
They have my name on it. They're great. And then you also do spaghetti breakfast or spaghetti dinners there with the scout troop.
The scout troop usually does a spaghetti dinner, and we usually have our St. Patrick's Day celebration as well with the with the corned beef.
Yes,
everyone loves the corned beef.
And I like that guy that comes out and he has his beard in green or who's that guy? He's from the Knights, right?
I
can't remember his name.
Yeah. There's a few people actually that come out in
festive green
hats and everyone's got to have their St. Patrick's Day beads on.
Yeah. So excellent. So the event again is when?
It's August 22nd,
which is a
Saturday. And doors open at 6. Okay. So come buy your tickets early. We will have a set amount at the door that we will sell that night at the door. Okay. My recommendation is to come early, get your ticket, go get a hot dog from the Knights, and then 7:30 is when the wrestling actually starts. And then after that, if you're a party person, join us over at Crazy Pour.
Right.
You know, we're going to have a nice little after party. The wrestlers are coming over to Crazy Pour,
Right.
so you'll
Go
get
see
to
Tiz at Crazy Pour.
go
He's
see
great.
Tiz at Crazy Pour.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Great
Yeah.
guy. Yes.
And what's
Crazy
the-
Pour's on North Avenue.
North
what's
Avenue.
the address over there? 105?
105.
105.
I know it's.
How do you know that address? You know it pretty well.
I know we did a show over there
That's
once.
right,
And we
that's
did
right.
the show over there once.
Yeah, but Tiz is a great guy. The place is doing great.
It
I'm
is.
glad they are.
That's right, off track Benny right next door. Yeah.
So this event, you can buy tickets at the church, right?
You can buy tickets at the church. Come to the church this weekend. My recommendation too. Come to our 5 o'clock mass.
There you go.
If I have a full 5 o'clock mass this weekend, that would be really cool.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Okay.
Okay.
5 p.m. Saturday.
And what is your mass schedule on Sunday anyway?
Our masses, St. Alexander, we have a 5 p.m. mass on Saturday.
Right.
On Sunday, we have an 8:30 a.m. mass. We have a 10:30 a.m. mass. And then we have also a Spanish mass in the evening on Sunday.
Okay.
And that is at 6 p.m.
And you preside over that mass, or
I occasionally do.
Okay.
I don't actually speak Spanish, but I can fake it pretty good when I need to. We have some wonderful priests that help us out with the Spanish masses, and I think we just have a warm, welcoming community at St. Alexander. Anyone can walk through the door and just feel welcome. And,
Right.
and,
I don't go to that parish. Well, why would I want to come to your parish? Why would I come to you?
Why would you come to St. Alexander?
Yeah, why would I want to come
Aside from coming to see Mantor.
outside of Mantor and outside of maybe meeting you now, why would I want to come to you and join your parish?
Because St. Alexander is a witness to God's love in Villa Park.
Okay.
And we love all people, and we recognize that God's love is important in everyone's life.
And I'm speaking as an outsider. If I come to your church, how do I know the other people will accept me? And instead of have to join their groups.
Because I'm their pastor,
Okay.
and
Make sure that happens.
as a former wrestler would have said back in the 90s, because Stone Cold said so.
Okay.
Because Father Mark
So
said
there you
so.
go, folks. You got the pastor's word on that one now, see?
when I came up being raised as Catholic in Bensonville, I went to St. Alexis. And that school, the kids in the school would meet during Mass. We had our pew assignments. So I went to Mass 6 days a week, 5, and then Sunday. And, at that time, it was still with the priest facing the rear of the altar.
Yeah.
And everything in Latin.
It's all different now.
Big changes. Much more inviting, much more community-oriented.
Yes.
Instead of the structure that the Catholic faith was known for years ago, and much more open. There are other churches and faiths that practice their masses a lot more open atmosphere with bands on stage. Like I was telling you earlier, my daughter's church, but it's a lot more inviting, and it has to be because fewer and fewer people are destined always to go to Mass and go be involved in church, but those that want to, there's an opening for them to do it. They always have
Absolutely.
the opportunity to go to St. A's. And I got to tell you, St. A's is one of the brightest and well-maintained churches I've seen in a long time.
Thank you.
It is real. I mean, you walk into the vestibule before you get into the actual church itself, into the pews, and it's bright and it's open, and the lighting is beautiful, and it's meticulous there. Whoever does your maintenance does a great job. Tell them I said so. And the pews are comfortable, and it's also bright in the church. The lighting is excellent.
Yes.
We've seen these other chapels and cathedrals where the only light you have coming in is through stained glass windows, and it's kind of dark.
Dark in there.
Isolated in there. It's not that way at St. Alexander's, and it makes it just that more inviting for people to attend.
My favorite light of all there, the light of Christ.
There you go.
There you go.
You say stuff like that. That's cool.
You did one
Where was your
step.
seminary?
I went to Mundelein Seminary.
In Mundelein, Illinois?
in Mundelein, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You talk about the old days. I went to Catholic school.
Uh-huh.
And we're doing the 65th reunion October 4th
Wow.
from grammar
Wow.
school. From grammar school.
65th. Wow. Good.
Yeah.
That's
Isn't that
amazing.
awesome that we're here to enjoy those reunions?
God, yes, we're doing it. We do it every 5 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or keep going to them. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's really cool.
That is awesome.
It's really cool. I thoroughly enjoyed. I think when I was going to school there too, there was like 60 kids in class,
Wow.
in one class, and there
Yeah.
was a difference between nuns and lay teachers, and I just
We just had the nuns.
every part of that experience I enjoyed. So I enjoyed that. But Mass is something that people can go to, and you can pray. I still see some of the older folks sitting there praying on their own, you know,
Good for them.
in the back, and maybe have a rosary in their hands. But to participate, it's exciting. It really is.
And we have such a variety of really wonderful spiritualities that people bring to the table at St. Alexander. We love the fact that we're able to provide ministries both to people's prayer life, but also that reach out to the poor as well.
Yeah, and you do that here. I know you have lots of ways of reaching out to those organizations, whether it be here in the area, a food drive or something like that, but also, in good faith, you have to be aware of people outside our area.
Yeah.
You always want to say, well, let's keep the money here, or the donation or the effort here. Well, there are so many ministry
Exactly.
options
Exactly.
that are out there. Even in the Kiwanis, for example, they're raising money for tetanus in Africa.
Wow.
To give them tetanus shots so they don't have suffering
The
from that.
Rotary's stamping out polio.
Yeah, polio,
Rotary's stamp.
right?
Okay.
Lions Club with the eyesight, bringing the eyesight
Yeah,
back to people.
yeah. So those are all good things.
They're all
and
good
I
things.
Applaud St. Alexander's for doing those things as well. We got just 2 minutes, so let's get back to wrestling.
Okay.
Okay.
When, where, and how? When?
Mantor.
Mantor rules.
Okay.
All right. Anyone at the event wearing one of these T-shirts is a volunteer that day, so
Okay.
that's how we'll be.
You know how to get
Well
help?
identified.
Right. And it'll be on Sunday, August.
Saturday,
Saturday.
August
Saturday.
22nd.
Okay.
Come to the doors at 6 o'clock, and if you want to get a ticket for it, and be sure to get it, my recommendation is come to our 5 o'clock Mass this weekend.
You're over half sold already.
We are over half sold already,
That's good. That's
and
good.
they're going quick.
So we're expecting a full house.
We're expecting a full house.
Good.
And I'll say that if you come this weekend too, one of my deacons and I, we have something kind of special cooked up for our homily this weekend.
Oh, okay.
We're going to call it a tag team homily.
I'm going to see that. Every Mass?
Every Mass.
Okay. Okay. We're down to 1 minute.
Okay.
Let's talk about the prices of the tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for children. And that's children under what age? 12?
I believe it's 12, but don't quote me on that.
Because I'm under 61.
I'm
so
trying to picture the poster in my head right now.
all right, we'll figure that out. Either way, it's great. And you have food there, and it starts at the time you said, 7 p.m., but they can get in at 6.
6.
Get in at 6.
Okay. Seating is all the way around. Every seat is good, so don't worry about seating.
6
And-
matches.
Okay. 6 matches. And
6 matches, and then go to Crazy Pour afterwards for the after party.
that sounds great. Sounds great. Father?
Father, thank you for your
Will
time.
you
Thank
come back?
Al.
You come
Certainly,
back?
certainly.
All right, great.
Absolutely.
Come back
Dennis.
if you win. Don't come back if you get beat.
And folks, remember, we talked about it. You may see Father Mark in the. We're not saying it.
We're not
we
saying
don't want
it's
to promise
true.
anything. But should the challenge be laid, we may see Father Mark in the ring on that event. So that in itself is a headliner for all of us.
Thank you very much for coming today,
Oh,
Father.
you're welcome. Thank you for
Thank
having me.
you.
Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
And thank you, Villa Park, for watching. We'll see you next time.